Thank you. CEO, I was making a point about why the legal profession partnered with the entire business community in this country and other professional bodies to set up the International Arbitration Center as a contribution to economic development in this country, in furtherance of our mandate to use the instrument of the law to further the growth of society. Our idea with our partners is that dedicated to this will facilitate the decongestion of the courtroom for commercial matters so that there is the resolved arbitration and other ADR mechanisms. This way we can continue to expand and grow. To welcome you and your team from the Securities and Exchange Commission to deepen our collaboration to ensure that our respective mandates benefit the citizens of this country, and ultimately our collaboration will do good for everyone and position our country to be a place driven by ideas and where citizens are interested in collaborating to further the growth of every facet of our society. I am usually a man of very few words. I've spoken very long by my standards. May I simply say you're most welcome and looking forward to our collaborations. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for hosting us. This is probably my second or third time. We first came to this building when it was under construction. It's gratifying that we are even holding an event in this particular building. Could I just ride on the protocols, except to, of course, recognize the President, Mr. Zulu. I hope, Zulu, Bandas, and everything, I usually get confused. My colleagues from the Securities and Exchange Commission, and of course, staff from your institution. I think today is another milestone, step in the right direction, in the sense that we need to be developing the country in a number of areas. This morning, I attended the minister's town hall meeting, and most of the things that you've talked about in your speech, the stuff that was being discussed in the morning. Whilst our mandate is to develop the capital markets, our core mandate is investor protection. And we find that in our day-to-day schedule of activities that we do, we get to read the law, even those of us who are not lawyers, because we are made to make decisions that are legal in nature. In trying to protect the investors and also further develop the market, one of the core activities that come in has been demonstrated whilst you were talking. We just had a power cut, and my colleague immediately said climate change. Again, this morning, Minister did speak about the need to score on what the president of Zambia has given us as a country to score. It's a development of 1,000 megawatts of solar power by December 31st. That calls for the implementation of a number of private public partnership programs that will be able to deliver on that. So we need a number of lawyers to read through some of these agreements and help the market structure deals. So it is also gratifying to know that next week in Livingston, you will be, as part of your CPD, talking about securities laws and things like that, because we get to import a lot of skill, legal skill, just like capital market skill, and then exporting the limited dollars, because when a person comes from abroad, they get paid in forex. So if your members continually get to acquaint themselves with the developments in capital markets, we will be glad to work, or the market will be glad to work with such lawyers, so that we develop our country together, even as we sign this MOU. For your information, we get to publish financial statistics on a number of transactions. I think on the last $95 million capital raise for a green project by CEC, most of the fees went abroad. This is public information, including legal fees. So when we do develop capacity, I think these are some of the things that we should be talking about. We also treat our MOU signing ceremonies and what happens afterwards as one of our key deliverables: awareness. We need to get to have your team, the lawyers, to be aware, more aware, maybe put it that way, about capital markets. And in doing so, would avoid to have your members investing in scams. Unfortunately, I'm not just talking about lawyers, I'm talking about all professions. So this is a step in making sure that we avoid people losing money by investing in scams and products that do not make financial sense. I always throw in a joke. I know most of the people here as lawyers, you probably passed, not probably, you did pass your accounting class. Most of you with distinctions, but I think we need continued professional development so that you hone your skills, as it were. We also undertake a lot of research, especially in new products. I do not think there is currently experts in green finance, especially from the legal profession. So you need to do a lot of research, get to learn, so that we keep the dollars in the country. So as we sign the MOU, I think this is not the end, but the beginning of a mutually beneficial relationship. We get to collaborate more in a more formal way. I know we've been collaborating, but in a more formal way, so that both our institutions can work towards the development of our country, raising finance from our side, but we need to raise that finance in a manner that protects the people raising finance, and that's where understanding the law, especially the securities law, is important. I'll give you a practical example of my experience 13 years ago when I joined the capital markets. If you read the securities law, it talks about control of voting rights. So when there's a change in control of voting rights, that means there's an acquisition. Speaking to lawyers then, they will be like, no, this control of voting rights happened on the moon. And since the moon is not within our jurisdiction, the acquisition has not taken place. I argue as an accountant that no, the law talks about control of voting rights. Because we had cases where people rushed to Pakra and come with evidence and said nothing has changed at Pakra, so this transaction did not happen in the country. I think we successfully argued, and we had caucuses where both the legal minds, the finance people eventually agreed that the law was not talking about change in the legal structure, but change in the control of voting rights. And for us, this is one of the most common transactions. You have a mine on the copper belt that is 100% owned by a company, let's say in South Africa, which is 100% owned by a company in Ireland, and then 100% owned by another company in Holland. Then the shares in Holland are the ones that are sold. And the question is there a sale? And from the securities law, we say yes, there is a sale, because there's been a change in the control of voting rights. And it makes sense from a finance perspective, because usually you actually even get to see the names change. So if nothing has happened, how come name changes are happening? Board members, all of them get to be removed and new members come. But at Parker Records, it's still intact, nothing changes. So I strongly believe that we will together get to develop the markets, and in developing the markets, we will be protecting the investors who put their hard-earned money into long-term investments, as it were. So I hope I've also been like you in a few words. I haven't wasted people's time. At Sec, we have a term, we call it Kiluna, which basically means let's work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again, Mr. Zulu and Mr. Chitalu. I think we can now proceed to the signing of the memorandum of understanding.
point in time, I'd like to welcome to the show Mrs. Diana Suchoni, Director Enforcement and Legal Services for Securities.
Good afternoon. Okay, we are now able to hear me. This is a very wonderful occasion for us from the Commission, especially that first of all we are being hosted by the Law Association of this wonderful building. I think it's the pride of the profession and maybe the envy of other professions that do not have like a building as nice as we have. So as a member of Laz, I'm proud to stand here and be able to have this signing ceremony, which is a very momentous occasion that signifies the beginning of a relationship between the two institutions. And as you have heard from the President and the CEO, that there are so many benefits that will come to the membership of the association. Yeah, just apart from learning more about capital markets, even at a personal level, just awareness about the financial markets is very important because we have a lot of cases, the department that I come from, we investigate a lot of cases where even lawyers have been duped and have lost a lot of money because they've invested in fraudulent activities and scams because they did not know their rights or they did not know what they were doing. But with a lot of awareness, you'll be able to see that knowledge of capital markets will be able to improve not only their personal lives, but even the way they represent their clients. CEO was talking about the capital markets, and I think the President also mentioned that we serve a capital raising role as the capital markets. So when you look at the banking sector, the capital that is raised there is only for a short term. But when you want to raise long-term capital, you have to come to the capital markets. So when your client comes to you and they want to raise long-term capital, sending them to the banking sector would be a wrong decision as a lawyer. But you also need to know what type of financing the client needs to look into. Should it be equity? Should it be debt? So all those things lawyers need to know so that when you start talking to your client, some of the solutions, I think CEO mentioned the CEC green bond. That is not only dealing with a capital raising issue, but it's also dealing with a climate change problem that we have in the country. So dealing with an energy crisis, but at the same time dealing with a capital raising. So not only are we going to have this relationship actualized next week, because we are starting, we are action oriented. It's not just signing documents and filing them and they start gathering dust. But by next week, we'll start actualizing this relationship where we start seeing lawyers being capacitated to become better lawyers, to become better able to understand financial issues even from the capital markets perspective. So I'd like to thank everybody that participated in ensuring that we have actualized this rule, the hard work that went in to conclude this agreement that we have, the Memorandum of Understanding. It went through several processes from both ends, but now we are glad that we are both here and we are signing. And we also want to report that it has the clearance of the Attorney General, so nothing illegal is happening here, just for everybody to be, for the comfort of CEO here. Yeah, so it's this kind of a relationship that will see the fraternity improve and also develop. And we hope that the capital markets will then play its rightful place, because the people that need to be on the deal tables, the lawyers, they will be able to give the right advice to their clients to come to the capital markets and be able to meet their financing needs in the capital markets. So thank you so much for everyone. Thank you for the hosts for a wonderful hosting of this event. We thank you so much for everybody that put in hard work and effort to make sure that this event is a success. I thank you very much.
Thank you for that informative, clear message. At this point in time, I'd like to welcome Mr. Arnold Kalua, Honorary Secretary for the Law Association of Zambia. You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Do permit me to ride on the protocols already previously established by my president, Mr. Lungisani Zulu, and also reiterated by the CEO of SEC, Mr. Philip K. Chitalu. I think, as everybody else has mentioned, this is indeed a momentous occasion for us today. I was whispering to the Honorary Treasurer Wamba that what seems to be a meeting among 4 or 5 people a couple of months ago has culminated in this very huge and momentous occasion. I think it's indeed a reminder that we are doing everything possible to make sure that we do what we're supposed to do. Though I remember the first time that we met Director Legal Enforcement, I think we had asked if at all you've been to our Laz bar, which we now call the REIT, together with Mr. Chitalu, and you promised that you would visit the premises when you come. We are hoping that today is the day. Idi, do you have everything set up upstairs? At the very least, they can have a look at our premises. So we are hoping that before you leave us this afternoon, at least you take the occasion to just see what we have upstairs there. So I think everything else has already been mentioned, but there's one thing that I got from what CEO mentioned, and also in part what Diana mentioned, to the effect that a lot of funds have been lost in terms of trying to seek external legal assistance in trying to address matters to do with capital markets. We all take cognizance of the fact that indeed capital markets are quite a specialized field, and as an association I should indicate that we are genuinely challenged at that revelation. CEO did provide some statistics in terms of how much funding is being lost in that respect. So we are hoping that using our internal structures as Laz, currently one of the committees we have is primarily positioned to deal with matters to do with CPG, continuous professional development. So we wish to take this opportunity to reiterate our commitment to ensuring that going forward, at least we should have more engagement and try to see how best our members can be capacitated, especially in terms of matters to do with the capital markets. And we're very, very excited for the opportunity, and more so from the Secretariat space. I think our doors are always open here. Our Executive Director, perhaps the equivalent of Mr. Chitalu. You know him, right? Ah, perfect. Our ED is always supportive here, so please do feel free whenever you need to have more engagements, and we're very excited that finally we have documented our commitments in an MOU. So we are very, very excited, and I wish to formally, I know it has already been done, also maybe join everybody else in welcoming you to the Secretariat, and huge congratulations to everybody for this particular milestone. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those insightful words. We're now at the close of our program, and as SEC, we definitely look forward to working with Laz, and I think both institutions can build stronger financial growth, legal excellence, and also contribute to national development. So before we exit, we'll have a brief photo session on the stairs, and thereafter, please don't run away. There's refreshments, and as previous speaker said, the REIT upstairs. Okay. All right. Thank you so much all for attending.